We know we ask a lot from our patron and support network, and we are always so grateful for your generosity. In these challenging times, it's even harder to raise the funding we need to serve our community and achieve our goals. So we're always looking for new ways to maintain our revenue without adding additional burdens to our supporters. Today, we're excited to share a great opportunity that can really help our community and requires no additional out-of-pocket from you. We've partnered with the Liberty Company Insurance Brokers and their Liberty Cares program. Liberty Cares is simple. You already make monthly payments for your insurance needs, whether it's auto, home, or for your business. For every line of insurance you move to Liberty, they will donate 25% of the commissions they receive on your policies back to our cause. And under this special partnership arrangement, that donation will come to us again and again every year you keep your policy with Liberty. Often, you'll be able to move your insurance into this program simply by signing one form. It's that easy. The Liberty Company is one of the nation's largest insurance brokers, and they've won a number of recognitions for their excellent operations and workplace culture, so you can rest assured that you will be well taken care of. If you would like to learn more about how this new partnership with Liberty can help turn your insurance dollars into much-needed funds for our community, please visit libertycompany.com/libertycares or shoot them an email at libertycares@libertycompany.com. And please be sure to let them know that you're part of our community so that they will credit the benefit of your policies back to our organization. Your ongoing support is much appreciated, so thank you in advance.
Welcome to Center at Home with Matt and Navah.
Alrighty.
Another show,
Happy
another
Friday. Look, I'm doing a little dance.
It's Friday.
Friday. No.
Oh, we shouldn't do that because the algorithm will kick in.
What does that mean?
And it'll kick us off if we do a copyrighted song.
Oh, really?
It's the truth.
Oh.
Could happen later on the show. You might want to watch.
That's crazy. That's silly.
Why?
I don't know. That just seems silly to me.
I
You
think
can't.
that
we couldn't hum
music-
the theme to Jeopardy the other day.
Every songwriter should be protected. It's the truth.
Well, I agree with that. But I mean, come on. A little Jeopardy music in the background isn't gonna.
Indeed.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Another show, another week.
Yes.
Another year, it seems like. Each week is like a year, though, in COVID reality.
It's like
times.
it's Groundhog Week.
Yeah.
Groundhog
It
Week.
is.
So we got lots to do today, and we're going to get right to
Very
it.
full
because,
show. Very full show.
Very full show. Nav and I are going to go on a little vacation this weekend.
Oh man, it's not really. It's not really a vacation. We're just going to.
We're just going to get away for.
We're going to drive.
We're going to drive.
We don't have kids. We're going to get in our car. We're going to be safe.
Yep.
But we're going to just.
It's going to be
drive
nice.
somewhere.
And,
I just want to see the ocean.
And we want to give a shout
Aloha.
out to Moses Paskowitz, who's in Hawaii.
Yes.
I'm just realizing something. I, in my crazy thing to like get the show going,
we don't have our background.
Put our background up.
Oh no!
So there we go.
I'm off sorts. No wonder I'm so off.
You were off
today.
sorts. Now we're in Hawaii.
Yes.
See,
now I feel like myself again.
Now, see, it took me looking at Moses's name to actually notice that we don't have our background going.
But Uncle Moe's going to start sending us real pictures of Hawaii.
Yes.
So we're going to have the real thing coming up.
Okay, Moses. All right. So we have our first guest today is our first guest every show. And this is, by the way, our 19th show. Our first guest is Chelsea Darnell. And Chelsea is the host of a movie chat that we have every Saturday night. And I'm really excited about the one this week.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, we're going to get to her Hollywood moment. So we're going to bring Chelsea in. Hello, Chelsea.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. Did you feel the earthquake the other day?
Yeah, I really felt it. Middle of the night, in bed, shaking. It was weird.
Matt doesn't believe me, Chelsea, but because I think I'm part cat, every time we have an earthquake, I wake up like 5 minutes before it hits, and I just feel really weird. And then it hit, and I started screaming. The kids weren't with us, thank God. Or actually, it's weird. It's worse when the kids aren't with us because then I get more nervous afterwards. But I woke him up just from my yelling, but I like feel them coming. It's weird. It's very weird. But this one felt like a real earthquake to me.
Well, to me, after the one in 2000,
Yeah.
no, 94. After the one in 94, they're all
gnarly.
small now
Yeah.
compared to that one. That one was, to me, just crazy.
But I think because of what's going on, we're all, I know I am, we're all a little on edge, more so than usual.
Yes.
So like any disruption of our lives is much more impacted. Our anxiety levels are more impacted by that.
Yeah, it's always like, and especially because like some people are like, is the big one? Is this the big quake?
Yeah, well, every time you think that, like, when is it going to end?
Yeah.
When is it going to end? The one that we had before that, do you remember that one, Chelsea? It felt like you were on a boat.
We were in a restaurant.
That was
right?
like 1 or 2 years ago. I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was that one actually upset me more than anything else, because 1 minute I have a weird vestibular issue where I can't go on anything that goes in a circle. And you guys were all out to eat at the stand.
No, we weren't at the. Yeah, I remember we were at
You
the
were out.
hummus bar.
Everyone was gone.
Yeah.
And I was home alone.
It was
and
in the days that we went out to restaurants.
Yeah, and my kitty jumped up on my lap like, meow, like she really got me. And then all of a sudden it felt like
It was like a boat.
I felt like I was really, really drunk. And truth be told, I had a glass of wine with me. And I thought, oh my God, this is my nightmare. Somebody slipped me a roofie or something, because I had one sip of my drink and all of a sudden I'm going into a total hallucinatory freak out. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
Earthquakes,
Horrible stuff.
silly things. So Chelsea, we have some questions for you, I think. Do we?
No, we were going to today is all about West Side Story.
Oh, West Side Story.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about West Side Story.
Yeah, because so many people are so excited about this.
I'm excited about it. I'm not going to join, but I'm excited about it. It's like one of my favorite films. So the movie chat this week is West Side Story.
Yes, we'll be discussing the 1961 musical classic West Side Story, 7 Pacific Standard Time tomorrow.
Yes.
So if you want to join us, you can.
And I loved on your recent post, somebody put in, oh, can I join? Can I have my friends join? Because during all this crazy mishugas, Chelsea, who's our at Asner Family Center social director, we couldn't do our monthly socials anymore. And so Chelsea came up with this amazing idea that's turned into a real social club and something that kids really, really look forward to. And one of our campers, Hannah, Chelsea, that you know, Hannah met Atticus for the first time the other day at camp, and Atticus walked in and Hannah says, oh, Atticus, it's me, Hannah from Movie Talk.
Oh my God.
It was so cute.
That's
I wish
great.
you had been there, but it was so wonderful because they feel like they're in their own, social club, and it's
Wonderful.
created these wonderful relationships and something that these guys are so excited for every week.
That's
So
wonderful.
how did you come up with West Side Story?
Well, for one, I had to see what was on Netflix, because that seems to be the streaming service everybody has.
Yeah.
So I basically been trying to choose movies that are specifically from that streaming site.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to pick like classic movies, as many as possible that are available on Netflix. And West Side Story was there, and I had never seen it. So I was like, this is a classic musical. It won Best Picture in 1962. I might as well have my movie chat group watch this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great movie.
That's great.
Do your movies, sorry for
No,
interrupting.
it's okay.
Do your movies have to be, can they be scary?
That's a good question. I'm personally fine with it. The question is, some of our members don't really like watching scary movies, so it's more about what the members want as opposed to what's allowed or not allowed. It's more about what the members want.
Because they just added The Thing and
Oh, really? That's a scary one.
The Dead Zone, which are two of my. I love scary movies. They're
Dead
my
Zone
favorite.
is
It's my favorite.
I do too, for sure.
My absolute favorite genre.
The Dead Zone is a great film. It's a lot of fun. So, okay, if someone wants to join, they contact Shelby at asnerfamilycenter.org and say, "Hey, Shelby, I want to do this," and then she'll send you the passcode, right?
Yep, she'll send you the passcode as well as the meeting ID.
And that's at 7:00 Pacific time tomorrow. Saturday night. So those East Coasters, like our next guest, are going to have to, stay up a little late and have fun doing it. So Chelsea,
stay on and watch our next guest, who's one of your Movie Talk Club members. So don't go anywhere. Watch the rest of this next segment coming up is with Ben.
Oh, Ben! Yay!
So we'll talk soon, and thanks a lot, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Happy weekend.
All right.
Kiss Mama and Pop.
I will.
Whoops.
The dictionary.
The dictionary's up now.
Maddie, if you need help with words,
I do.
I can help you.
I need help with words.
I can help you if you lose track of you're getting a little up there.
Am I?
A little bit.
Am I getting advanced?
A little white around the edges.
I am white. Yeah.
We're all getting old.
I'm white around the beard.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it happens to the best of us.
So our next guest,
the ravages of time.
The ravages of time. Our next guest is actually has a podcast. He's a podcast and he's a fellow podcaster.
Fellow podcaster and fellow movie talk.
Yeah, he's a young man with autism.
Can you
has a podcast.
pronounce Ben's last name? Because I cannot read that from here. I'm getting old.
Hartranft.
Oh, right.
Did I get it right?
No, I think we did. We butcher that, Ben?
Did I get it right, Ben?
How are you?
Hi,
good. How
Ben.
are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for letting me come on.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So I want to hear all about your podcast. We're gonna do your podcast because you're doing our podcast.
All right.
So
Ben, you said you're back east. So where back east are you?
I'm actually from Philadelphia.
Ooh, like Julie.
yeah.
Cool.
All the way out in the East Coast. Born and raised in the city of Brotherly Love.
Oh,
Very cool.
I don't think I've ever been to Philadelphia.
No.
Really?
I lived in New York for many years, but I've never been. Bucks County is near there, though, right? Okay, well,
yeah, right in that area.
I've been to Bucks County, but I haven't been to the city.
My aunt used to live in Philadelphia, so I used to go there every now and then. And
He thinks are the best.
yeah. Okay. So, and I actually we have a very good friend who's a pitching coach for the Phillies.
Jim Gott, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I know him.
Yeah. So they're baseball season
yeah,
has
good
started.
friend of mine. Yeah, I love Kathy.
She's the best.
She is the best.
So tell us about your podcast.
So I'm on the autism spectrum. I started this podcast. I work for an agency called Access Services out in Philadelphia. And when COVID hit, I didn't know, all my events got canceled. All my talks got canceled. And I didn't know what to do. So I was walking home one day and I sparked up an idea. And I said, why don't I start my own show? Called up my buddy Jamel Owens. And I said, hey, let's start a radio show. And he goes, all right, I'm in. So this is tonight. We'll have our show tonight at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. That'll be 4:00 your guys' time. And we're going to be talking about different stuff with different people. Tonight, we're actually having a guest. His name's Chuck Mound. He used to be a coach for the Eagles, and now he's a coach for the Giants.
Cool.
Hence the Eagles background.
Yes, I'm a big Eagles fan, as you can tell.
And Ben, is Access Services, is that what you said? Are they
Special needs agency. Yes.
I mean, is it the same as the transportation company that's here?
No.
It's not a transportation company.
No. It's an agency, special needs agency out in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Because there's an Access Special Needs Transport company in California that a lot of our guys use to get around. If they don't want to do Uber, they can call Access.
Yeah.
So Ben, is the show all sports or is it all?
We have different guests. We had Atticus Baldwin and Daniel Baldwin on my show 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Right. And Isabella.
And Isabella. So that was a great show. We had a great time with them. And I had Pixar on my show. I had Bobby Rufio and Erica Mosa on my show.
Bobby's a great guy.
Bobby is a great guy. I love Bobby.
and his short is amazing.
On Disney Plus. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I really love Disney Plus for those Disney fans out there.
What would we have done without Disney Plus in the COVID?
It's like crazy.
But didn't it come on like right as
it did?
This was all starting.
Yeah, but in Christmas time, I think it came out. Yeah, last year.
I don't know. Actually, I read a statistic actually that Disney Plus, their subscriber base rose in March, April, and May, like 9 million people, I think.
What?
Of course.
9 million. I mean, just crazy numbers.
It was life-saving to people, especially people with little kids. I mean, our kids are bigger, but I mean, Eddie and I watch it at least 2 or 3 times a day.
He's always got up.
He watches Up 2 or 3 times.
Which is a great point.
Literally. And he tells me, he says, that's Grandpa Zadie in that and he's Carl Fredricksen. He has the whole thing down.
Oh my gosh. It's kind of like when you're a kid on the spectrum and you memorize the whole movie tape over and over again. It's just like,
oh yeah. Well,
in your head. It's actually really interesting. My favorite movie is 1776. The
really?
Daniels version. Yeah. And I know the whole thing by start to finish.
Wow. That's an interesting favorite movie. Yeah. Are you a fan of the Revolution?
Yes, I am a big fan of history. Yeah. I love Hamilton.
You live in the city for it.
I live in the city of Philadelphia. Yeah.
So Ben, you liked Hamilton.
Hamilton was really, I saw it on Broadway last year. It was actually really good.
Matt liked it. I did not love it. I gotta say, I know there's going to be a lot of egg throwing at the TV, but to me, the music was very hard for me to listen to. It just was very loud, and
I watched it for the first time on Disney Plus, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. I thought it was actually my mouth was open like in awe the whole time. I thought it was just something to behold.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, very visionary in its thinking and the way it presented things. Very visionary in the way it did that. I thought it was just amazing. Hey, I've got a question for you. So we're talking about streaming. So there's a great new show on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum. Have you taken a look at that?
I have not. But speaking of dreams, did you guys know I had a dream to get on the Ellen show and I got on?
No way.
Okay, so you got to tell that story.
Okay. So real quick, I'm a big Eagles fan. And when the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year, I got the opportunity to carry the Vince Lombardi trophy at the ring ceremony.
Oh, how neat.
At the Eagles ring ceremony. And that's how I met Jason Kelsey. And I work at Dorney Park. I'm a park ambassador, ride roller coaster. I mean, I used to ride roller coaster. I can go into that in a little bit. But I wanted to get on Ellen because I wanted to spread love and joy and be kind to each other. And I end that on my show every time on my podcast show. Let's be kind to one another this week, guys. Let's be kind and help each other out in many different ways. So
I love that.
I had a friend. Her name was Sue Shulkin. Shout out to Sue Shulkin. She wrote to Ellen every day for an entire year, every single day to get me on the show. One day they called, and it was a Burbank number.
Really?
What does that mean?
A Burbank.
Oh, I thought you said Burbank number. Like it's a burn phone.
So that's amazing. That's really amazing. So you see, persistence rules the day, doesn't it?
That's true. We have to tell Mookie that, and our friend is really into Miley Cyrus, and he keeps persisting, and eventually we are going to get that kid to meet Miley Cyrus somehow.
So did they bring you out to do the show?
They actually flew me out. Me and my dad, my mom couldn't go. So we were backstage, and they said, "You're not going to meet Ellen. You're going to be on the Ellen Tube." Shout out to John Dornbos, HEG American Idol magician. He was on with me that day, former Philadelphia long snapper, and they totally surprised me. And I screamed my head off, and I ran out, and I got to hug Ellen, and I talked about autism on the show.
Well, I that's pretty cool. They need you right now too. Let me tell you. So. When was this? When did this happen?
2018.
2018, and that's an amazing highlight. What a great thing! I'm gonna have to find that online. Can you send me a link?
I can send you my website on the link right here. If you want me to.
Oh, we can watch the actual show.
I would love that.
Oh.
I would love that.
The picture, yeah. Here's the picture.
There, bring it closer. Here, I'm gonna put you full screen so everyone can see that.
That's Ellen. That's me and Ellen.
Oh, great. And who's the guy with the beard?
That's John Dornbos.
That's the guy from American Idol.
That's America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent. I don't know these things.
We don't know. We're oldies. We're oldies, Ben.
I don't know. I watched like the first 2 seasons of America's Got Talent, but that was it. And once in a while we'll kind of watch it just out of I don't know.
Well, we watched American Idol this year because it was all the kids were doing it virtually, and
that
it
was
was
interesting.
super cool the way
That's
that
so
they did that. Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing your show?
I've been doing my show since April, ever since I did something on World Autism Day. And I'm hoping to expand it and maybe get it on bigger platforms. And so I'm trying to keep the ball rolling.
So when is your show? When can people tune in? Because
people can tune in tonight at 7:00, and we give away some great prizes.
Really?
So it's every Friday at 4:00 our time, 7:00 Eastern time.
Yes.
And
okay.
that's
and how do people watch it? Where do they watch it?
I can I put something in the chat right here if I
Yes,
and I'll post it.
Yeah, let me put my website. I should have had it up earlier. I apologize. So let me do that. Let me go to my website. So I'm gonna put on my website on here.
Okay.
And then I'll put in tonight's chat. I'll put in tonight's link for anybody who is interested in tuning in tonight.
Now the Eagles are a very philanthropic organization, aren't they?
They are amazing. They actually did a webinar. They actually did a story on me about autism, like a documentary, like a 10-minute documentary about my life story. So they went to my school. They interviewed me, and it was the year after I won Homecoming King at North Penn at my school.
And did they get that also on the mini documentary?
Yeah, so it has the footage from the original. Yeah. So another thing, I have a lot of dreams, and I said to my mom senior year, I want to run homecoming. I want to win Homecoming King. And my mom over here was like, "Well, Ben, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it." And I won. And
awesome!
It was just amazing. Everybody was just crying. It was really cool. It was a really amazing experience, and I'm just so thankful for everybody in my life. Really am. I'm also thankful for Jesus. You know, God has provided me to the right people at the right time. I go to a church called Calvary Satterton out in Philadelphia, and they have a great disability ministry. It's from 17 to 35, and it's just it's all different types of disabilities, and the teens and adults pour out their spirits, and they love serving in that ministry.
That's great.
Well, isn't this the time, Ben, with all that's going on and we're all so freaked out and so scared? This is the time to pray. I mean, I pray every day of my life. And how can we get through sometimes if we don't have, a higher support? We all need that in our lives. Yeah. I know I do.
Well, Ben, I thank you for joining us.
Wait, one more thing. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows. I don't know if you heard of the Eagles Autism Challenge. The Eagles Autism Challenge was started by Jeffrey Lurie. His brother has autism.
I have heard of it. Can you explain it?
Yes. And they wanted to do a thing every year. It's September 26th. It's virtual this year. But every year they raised over millions and millions of dollars, like $6.5 million in autism research. And Jeffrey Lurie pays the overhead cut and stuff. And they want to help fund some different ideas and stuff. And they want to take awareness to action. And I really love helping out with that program. And I have a great quote that I use at the end, and I love that rainbow. And so my quote is, having autism is not a bad thing. It doesn't characterize who we are. Everyone is unique and special, just like a rainbow. And I treat everybody like a celebrity, no matter who they are. And you know what? I love my quote reminds me, because my mom one time talked to me and she goes, "Ben, look at the rainbow." And she was crying and she goes, "How am I going to ever teach Ben God's love?" And then Fast forward, Ben, I said, Mom, look at the rainbow. A full circle came around.
Oh,
Wow.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Very cool.
And
Yeah.
I love how you end your show each week. I think that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
we definitely have to have more kindness for one
Yeah.
another, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's very different. My sign off is keep your seatbelt on.
And mine is don't drink so much wine.
Don't drink so much wine.
Try not to drink
Ben-
so much wine.
Ben, thank you very much for joining us. Will you come back on another time?
Yeah, I can. I can come on, and you're part of my. And I like to sign off with this too. Once you're part of my family, you're part of the Ben and Jay Show family, and now I'm part of your family as well.
Great.
So if I'm ever out in
Absolutely.
California, I would love to come out and see you
Oh,
guys.
I got to come to the
You
center.
gotta come.
Yes.
Do you like roller coasters? That's my other question I have.
I do not.
I love roller coasters.
I would barf.
Okay.
And
I love
So
roller.
I do barf.
What's
I
your
work-
favorite
Matt will
roller
go with
coaster?
you.
What's
I
your
work-
favorite roller coaster?
I work at Dorney Park, so I love Steel Force and I love talent. So
I've never
they have a
been on
Knott's Berry Farm out there. It's another it's a Knott's Berry Farm park out where I work.
Oh, okay, cool.
Property, yeah.
That'll be Matt.
My favorite roller coaster is at California Adventure.
Oh my God.
California, Great America.
California Streaming, I think it's called.
Oh
And
my gosh,
It is.
I've
It
never
is.
been there. Never been there.
He
It-
took Spencer
Oh my
on
God,
with
that was
him.
hilarious.
You know Spencer from Movie Chat.
Yes.
That was hilarious. It was.
So
it's
you
the
got to let
scariest
us
roller
know
coaster.
when work it out with Shelby, and we'll come on your show.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk to Shelby, and I'd love. And then if you guys are welcome to come tune in tonight, and then everybody out there is welcome to tune in. I put 2 links out there.
Yeah,
Website,
great.
just link to the show tonight. I love you guys. Thank you so
Love
much.
you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. We'll see you
Stay
soon.
safe.
Thank you.
Okay. That's
Oh,
great.
I love him.
Ben's great. I've got to watch his show. I mean, I haven't seen the show. I gotta watch
don't
it.
make fun of me.
Yeah.
But was he talking about football or baseball?
He was
all
talking
those
about
bands.
football. Eagles is football.
I said all those bands. I don't know these sports
Football.
things. I was
Football.
like tuning out because I really don't understand sports. I'm sorry.
Philadelphia Eagles, great tradition of football. Sure.
So,
Yes.
Matt Asner,
Yes.
guess what today was?
What was today, Navah?
Today was the last day
Yes.
of Metamorphosis Week.
And so explain that to me.
Each week of Camp Ed, we've had these incredible themes that Judy Langdon has created, and Aviva Pasquitz, our art director, and our music director, going together. They are like magic, these two girls. And so I love, this was my favorite week. We have 1 week left of camp. I'm so excited. Unfortunately, we're full, or fortunately, but this camp was amazing, and I'm so grateful that we were able to do it safely. We were able to do it. The kids are having more fun than I've ever seen them have. And what we've decided is, because of this dynamic with these two amazing directors, when we reopen, God willing, we're gonna the last day of camp is August 7th, and then we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna reopen on September 2nd. And I don't even think you knew that.
I kind of knew that because I
Okay.
think I heard it out of my ear this morning.
But we are going to reopen twice a week, and we're going to do a poll. And Shelby is going to reach out to all of you and ask you which days you prefer. But right now we're tentatively talking about continuing our art and music. The girls call it the creative cubes, because everyone are in these amazing little plexiglass cubes that they can stay safe from each other. They have their own workspace, and it's going to be twice a week.
I got to say something.
All right.
It was pretty darn cool to watch it.
I know.
I mean, it really
it
was.
was such an amazing
We have one more
week.
week, but you know, it was. I got to hand it to you guys, and I've got to hand it to the kids.
It's been really.
It's been an
my
incredible
biggest success.
situation. It's been
For
an
sure.
incredible thing to watch. You were very worried about masks. You were
Yeah.
very worried about
Well, I mean, it's
the individual wearing masks.
it's a difficulty for us
Yeah.
adults, and these kids have risen to the occasion. I can't even believe how wonderful they
Yeah.
are. They're so together with their timing of getting their mask breaks, and we have not, and I shouldn't jinx it, but we haven't had one issue in relation to the kids keeping them.
And I got to say something: if they can wear a mask, anyone can wear a
exactly.
mask, and everyone should wear a mask.
Exactly.
So because a lot of these kids,
they're great examples.
I never would have believed they could have worn a mask for
sure.
A couple hours a day.
For sure.
And they do, and it's pretty incredible.
So next week, our final week of camp is seasons. So they're going to do all these different amazing art and music projects with the changing of the seasons. Judy Langdon says, the seasons change and so must I. So they're teaching kids about changing and adapting and the current nature of the world and just being super creative and artistic about it. And we'll show you some more of their stuff on next Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
I got something really cool to say.
Alrighty.
I'm actually really excited about something. Then we're going to get to our next guest. I am really excited about something. We're going to do that later.
I know.
Later
I know.
But I'm really excited because I put it out there on the internet that Will likes bees.
That Will likes Bill.
That he likes bees. That he wants.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's amazing.
As a father of a son on the spectrum, you want your kids to have something. They want
find something that inspires
them. You
them.
Want them to find something that inspires them.
Only fathers?
No, and mothers. And you want them to find something that inspires them and create something that they could do for work, for employment. And
it's our biggest dream.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, it's terrifying. It keeps me up at night sometimes. Yeah. And Will has shown a real attraction to bees and to what bees are and what they represent in the environment. And so I put it out there on the internet, and some people got back to me, and we're going out next weekend to work with him, to have him work with bees.
Unbelievable.
To actually put a suit on, and this could actually turn into something that could be an employment situation. It could be a place where he has a home and is able to work. So I'm really excited. He's really excited. And I might actually shoot some video and
definitely.
And maybe have Steve put something together on our day out there.
The moral of that story, I think, is that each one of us are a family. We're a special needs family. We're one community. If you have needs, especially in these times, financial stressors, emotional stressors, marital stressors, right? Reach out to your fellow special needs family member. Reach out through us. We can connect you guys. We have our support groups online. We have our community, and this guy reached out to you because other people were helping you, and it's
a community. You're a community.
Exactly. So on that note, how on the note of how you can help your special needs child,
yes,
we're going to bring in our next guest.
And I'm a little worried about Sean because it says that he's not, but I'm going to bring Brian in at the same time. Brian, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. I'm going to try and bring Sean in. We'll see if this works.
And Brian, pronounce your last name for us because everyone butchers my last name. I'll tell you.
Altoona. It's
Altoona. Okay.
So
like Altoona, Texas. I'll remember that.
Right. Yeah.
I always try to tie something so I remember,
Perfect.
Sean's devices are not working, it says.
Oh, no.
So if Sean could call back in, but we're going to start with you, Brian.
Okay. Sean, call back in.
We'll go from there. So this is something that this is the topic here is finances and how people get a hold of get in control of their finances and start planning for the future. And this is something that everyone has a problem with. And I think I'm actually going to.
And it's such a daunting subject. I mean, you feel so overwhelmed and you don't know where to begin as a parent.
It is, no, for sure. And I think the one thing is that with this pandemic, it's exacerbated the situation for most families, right? So
for sure.
The things that we've been talking about with our clients, things like, how we get out of debt and getting out of, student loan debt and credit card debt, and how do we improve our cash flow, and the concept of having an emergency fund, for those families that would set aside a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. There's a little less stress during this kind of a situation, but even in normal situations, there's a substantial number of Americans that don't even have $1,000 extra in their bank account for an emergency. And the banks are getting, wealthy on our credit card usage. So I'm sorry, Matt, you were going to say something.
No, I think you kind of just said it. I mean, what is this statistic about savings? What is the statistic about what people have in their bank accounts? The majority of people. It's
interesting. Over 90% of the United States don't have an extra $1,000 in their bank accounts. How's that? Here's an amazing thing to think about too. 94% of the country makes less than $50,000 a year. 94.
My God.
In the wealthiest country in the world, with most opportunity available to us, and yet most families live, at $50,000 a year or less, and it's difficult to get, to get to the next level. And I think for a lot of families who don't even thinking of savings, or whether it's for the short term or the midterm or even for the long term, they're just trying to survive. They're just trying to get out from underneath the current situation.
And then you have a situation like this where it's unprecedented and they don't have even $1,000 cushion. And then you really are in a state of emergency.
And
Hi, Sean. Now we have Sean.
Sean's there.
Sean Francis.
This has been a day for you. What a day!
Oh my gosh, you're appreciated deeply, and I wasn't trying to show up fashionably late and make a grand entrance or anything like that. That was not the plan.
It's all right. I like curveballs when we do live shows, so it's a big curveball. So we're talking about finances, and what's interesting is I think a lot of people are scared about this. It's something that scares them. It's not just not having the means to support yourself in the future, but actually the act of saving money is scary to people.
Yes.
Maybe let's talk about ways that people can do it, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't even spare an extra $5 a month. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how one begins to kind of get on that path to saving and to saving responsibly.
The first thing is at least having some form of education and finding out that it's not as difficult as one might think. And that's a process that we go through because for each of us, we've gone through that and been educated as well. And that we take a very low-key educational approach. And when most people have that take place, even if the task is daunting, at the very least, they've taken the first steps, and then they can say, okay, at least I've got, someplace to begin, and I know where I'm going to go. And then the process can begin from there. Brian, you can, if you touch on a little more in detail on that.
Yeah, no, I think in general, if people understand how money works and how the institutions that have been created to support us actually in many ways work against us, once they understand some basics about things like compound interest and how compound interest works. The idea, we all think about savings like putting it in our bank account, but banks these days, if you looked at the interest rate on a savings account at a bank, a Wells Fargo or a Citibank, any of the major banks, it's not, some people I'd say I think it's less than 1%. It's actually less than 0.1%.
Oh my
Most
gosh.
banks pay 0.025% for a savings account. You're lucky. And by the way, to understand a concept here, I'll share this with you because it's one of my favorites. This concept of how compound interest can get calculated. It's a concept called the rule of 72. So for all of your listeners, there's a little bit of education for you, free education. How you can figure out if you can take the interest rate that you earn on your savings or your investment and you divide that into the number 72, that will tell you how many years it takes for your money to double. So if you earn 1% interest, your money will double in 72 years. So now go back to the idea that banks pay you let's say on average 0.03% on your savings account. Money in your savings account at the bank will double in 2,400 years.
And that's not even factoring in the rate of inflation.
That's
right.
I mean, it costs us money to save money in a bank, right? And so you're constantly, so where can we, how can we improve that? But just on the flip side, to understand the challenge that we have is that the average interest rate on a credit card is 18%. So it works the same way. The debt on a credit card, 72 divided by 18 is 4. Is the average debt on a credit card is going to double in 4 years while your savings will double in thousands.
400.
Yeah.
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 So,
2,400.
yeah, I mean, that's it. I learned that the hard way many years ago. So
And most people, that's the challenge. They don't know where to go and what kind of resources. And like we deal with special needs, there are resources for families on educational and therapeutic and and other kinds of resources. But from a financial resource, the company that Sean and I are with, like, we're a financial resource to help educate folks and show them we have partners that help folks get out from underneath credit card debt and student loan debt. Student loan debt in this country, by the way, compounds on a daily basis. Student loans
That's criminal.
account
It
horrible.
is. It is.
$1.6 trillion in student loan debt. That's a tremendous amount of debt. And so we work with companies that help folks get out from under. I mean, some people are paying until they're 60, 65 on student loan
I
debt.
can't believe that.
And
That's
even-
On that note, can you explain to us, Sean, what it is that you guys do for people who just joined us? What is the nature of your business?
What we do is we essentially help people build a bridge between the life they have and the one that they want, and we do that through both financial service and education. And what differs between us and the industry is that the educational part is usually very small, if existent. The industry also usually will cater to wealthy people only, and that means you're talking about people that who they define in terms of wealthy as someone that has usually $250,000 liquid sitting around for them to even charge them, give them the time of day. Then they charge a fee for the time, and then they work in what you call a captive environment. So they represent the one company that they may work for, and then the other thing that takes place is there's then a quota. So at some point, even if the agent or advisor has the biggest heart and the best intentions, at some point he's going to have to ask himself, am I going to look out for the family I have at home or the family that I'm sitting down with? And it's a very tough position to have to be in, not to make an excuse for the agent, but that's the way the industry works. And the way that we work is that we don't charge a fee for the time. We will sit down with someone and put a comprehensive plan together. We don't do business on a first appointment if we do it, because we want to make sure that we're taking an educational approach. We have access to and have relationships with several hundred different companies. And then because we build our business based on referrals, we better make sure that any recommendation we make is in the client's best interest. And we feel like we're in this race because at some point, the general industry, the typical firm, is going to look at our community, of which we are all here on the show, a part of the special needs community, and just see an opportunity as opposed to a need and get concerned with profits more so than people. And so we're trying to make sure that we win that race.
So what kind of message do you have for someone right now who's going through this really tough situation where we're in right now? I guess it's a silly question actually, because
Okay.
I don't even know where I'm going with that, because what do you tell people right now?
Well, I know that the majority of even friends that I've spoken to, a lot of people in the industry, in the entertainment industry and stuff, they're living off their credit.
Right.
They're living off
Yeah.
their credit cards. They're even getting new ones. I mean, I know a lot of people who are just racking up the new credit cards because there's no other option. If you have, if people are not able to work and they're not
Right.
getting, I mean, people got one check.
Well, the first thing they need to remember is, just like you said, a lot of people. So the first thing to remember is that you're not alone. So if you take special needs and then drill that down to autism, and then within autism, there's the spectrum. Depending on what your situation is and what your child or loved one's challenge is, it's very easy to be like, nobody knows what I'm going through. It's just me. So the first thing is to know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is to, who do you have as your resources in terms of people, to talk to, because if you realize what somebody else's situation is, first of all, you'll find out that yours might not be as bad. And the goal there is not to find somebody whose situation sucks worse than yours, but to have a level of appreciation that allows you to then go find the solution. And it's
Right.
tough to do that when you think that you're winning the contest for who's got the worst situation in the world. That's the first thing. The next thing is then, as far as we're concerned, those are issues that we deal with both on a personal level, and then from a professional one, it just doesn't hurt to have somebody to talk to. And we'd be happy to speak to people to find out about how can we begin to construct that bridge between the life they have and the one that they want. Sometimes that's just service. Sometimes that's education. Sometimes that's some form of opportunity. And each of us, which is why we do what we do and are affiliated with who we are affiliated with, in addition to each other, is we always want to be the person that can, raise their hand in a room when someone says, does anybody know a plumber? Does anybody know a good whatever? Because your time on the planet, Muhammad Ali had a saying where he said, service to others is the rent you pay for your room on earth. And that takes place in terms of going out and serving. But if you have anything that's going to make any bit of difference in somebody's life, even if it's a tiny shot, some bit of information, speak up and give it. You have an obligation to do that.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So
there are,
how can families who, maybe you're not exactly what they need, or you're somewhat what they need, how can they reach out to you guys and say, hey, I saw your show, I saw you on the show, I'm really struggling, especially, a lot of these with the credit card debts, and how can they reach out to you guys?
Well, both of our Facebook pages are, as our names show there on the screen. And then for myself, I'm on Instagram at I am Sean Francis. And Brian, you want to give yours?
Yeah, mine is just my name on Instagram, Brian Altunian. Same on Facebook. It's Facebook, Brian Altunian. That's open to everybody. I don't restrict access. That's the beginning. They can direct message us, and we can reach out and help support them. I was going to say for special needs families, there are a lot of resources that are available and things that have impacted their ability to get benefits. And so every state has adopted an aspect of this thing called the ABLE Act. And so as they understand, we help to educate them on, ways to be able to access those. We work with special needs attorneys to put together special needs trusts. So as you plan for the future, those kinds of, we're really the quarterbacks that help to put everything in place. And the great thing for the clients is they don't pay Sean and I, they don't pay us anything. When we put them together with the people who can provide them the right services, then those companies pay us. So for us, it's really spend as much time with the family as possible to help them solve.
You're kind of directing people. They come to you and they kind of tell you their needs, and then as you vet each family, you can direct their needs appropriately.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, got it.
Correct. And that's where I was saying that each of those companies knows that everything we do is based on referrals. So it takes out any incentive to do anything other than put someone in what is best for them in that given moment.
Great.
So we're running out of time, and I got one question that I really want to ask. What do you think what would you say is the most important thing for a family who has a special needs child in their family, maybe one that's getting older? What is the most important thing for them to do in their finances to protect them when they're older?
Call these guys. Obviously. My gosh.
That's a good one.
I mean, can you name one thing, one task that they have to do to protect themselves in the future?
A tip.
It sounds really, Navah's answer is correct, not from a marketing standpoint or self-promotion, but because each situation really is different.
Right.
That needs to take place, because for some, it may be one more than the other, because it depends on, what they have. Some form of life insurance is important. It's crucial. But you need to make sure that you have the right type and the right amount. And then that should be tied into the special needs, trust as well. And then you get past where you're at and the fear and allow yourself to dream, because then that allows, a determination to be made as to what's best for you too. Because that's the whole thing about connecting to dreams, not just surviving. So it's like, what would the perfect world look like for you? What are the things that you would like your child to be able to do when you exist only in memory? And it's a tough thing to face, but that's something we have to do.
Great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you guys came on. And I know there's so many people who are really struggling, and I'm definitely going to I know where to direct them now. I know
Look,
where, because
Thank you so much. It's part of the
There's so much
reason why this day was. It's been so crazy.
I
and hectic
know, I
because
know,
we're in a place that we've never been before.
for
I mean,
sure, for
it
sure.
just
I mean,
it's overwhelming.
everyone has to be like a little more Hawaiian, I say, and go with the groove a little bit. That's, you see, we have my land behind us right now.
I see
But
that.
thank you guys so much. It's so nice to meet you, Brian,
Thank you,
and
guys. Thank you.
hope to
Well,
that we're go ahead.
we'll talk soon.
Good.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much,
guys very much.
and love what you guys are doing with the work at the center. It's so funny
Thank you.
because when was the birthday party? What month was that?
80s night. It was 80s night.
was,
It was
February?
February. Yeah, the
So that was-
mid-February.
So that was
Right before.
February, right? Elijah
Right
and
before.
Elijah and I came. We had a great
I
time.
know.
And
It was
we got outside his shell. I posted pictures. People were like, "You had
So
your son. Your son was in a club." I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
it
it was a
did look
party."
It was great.
80s.
Elijah had a blast.
Oh, man.
He did, and
I
then
really- I tell you,
right
I
after
miss
that,
those.
everything changed, and so
I miss
we need to
those.
get back to that.
I really miss our community events most of all.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Everybody needs to get to them. Thank you so
Well,
much.
God
Thank
willing,
you.
we're going to have many more in the future.
We'll be there.
Awesome.
Okay,
We will talk
guys.
soon. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Safe.
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, those statistics that Brian said are shocking.
They are.
That 90% of Americans have no cushion. God forbid something happens. One of their family members gets COVID, God forbid.
Well, look, I mean,
That's
it's
terrifying.
the cost of living in most cities is
Yes, I agree
extremely
with you.
high.
I agree with you.
Most people live beyond their means. It's a very big problem, and I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to come together to fix it. We have to.
I know, and especially
Education.
if we don't know where the end line is, then we have to have something in the interim that helps and protects these families. That some of them are financially going
Well-
into areas of real.
Well, we got
danger.
a situation right now where you got the unemployment.
I know.
Federal
I
unemployment is
know.
ending
I know.
tomorrow or today. What is
It
today?
ended day
Ended
before
today.
yesterday.
Today, 31st. Is it today? 31st.
Today.
It's today.
Today.
So, that's a big problem.
Oh, it's
'Cause we're in a
gonna be
situation
more
where
than a
we're-
problem.
we're
It's
in a
going to be
situation-
life changing.
We're in a situation that's unprecedented,
Yeah.
and we have to figure that out. We have to figure that. I think people have to start believing that. People have to start believing that we're in an unprecedented situation.
Well, I think
Because I think a lot of people say it, but I don't think they actually
Yeah.
believe that we're in an unprecedented situation. We are. And unless we get together, unless we come together and we start moving as a cohesive unit and as a partnership, I think we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I think that our leaders have to see that.
I think it's kind of a situation like autism awareness in a weird way. It's like until it affects you personally, you're not taking it as seriously as you should. When we drove by that restaurant the other day and it was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, this restaurant, it was outdoor dining, and
But
it
I mean,
was
there was a lot of
packed.
people crowded in. It wasn't
Crazy
really
town.
outdoor dining because there was an awning and people were inside this kind of
Yeah,
area.
but I didn't. I mean, it was anyway. It's crazy. And so you want to tell us a little bit about
Yes.
an event that you have coming up
We have a great event coming up, and we're going to show a
Yes.
little video of last year's. Last year's was a little
to
different.
get you all
because
ramped up for
Yep.
our event.
Last year's was at MTM or at CBS Studios, and this year we were going to have our poker tournament at Playa Studios in Playa del Rey, but something happened.
Yes.
And we can't have it anymore like that. So we're actually doing it this year online, and it's on August 29th. And we have an incredible amount of celebrities who are going to play and take part in a kind of simulcast, which I'm going to call a telethon, which
yeah.
it's like a telethon. It's going to be like
Like
a
the
telethon.
Chabad telethon.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Cool.
No, we're going to have a lot of guests. It's going to be, if you go on our website, the guest list is incredible.
Mhm.
Nick
best-
Offerman, Jack Black. I mean, the list goes on and on
Maureen
and on.
McCormick,
Or Mia Farrow. And these people
Tom Hanks
are going to play. Some are going to play. Some are going to donate jerseys. It's going to be an amazing, fun, wonderful
telethon.
experiment in the new world we live in.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a music a performer in halftime. Lyle Lovett's going to perform in halftime of the poker tournament. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great, but we're going to show a little bit about last year and what happened there. And this is the part I'm not sure about. So we might get thrown off the air, but if we do,
let's be risk takers.
We're risk takers.
Let's do it.
So we might see on the back end of this. If we don't, then we broke the rules, and I'm sorry. But here's a little bit of last year's
breaking rules.
poker tournament. Hope to see you on the back end of this.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 7th annual Ed Asner and Friends Celebrity Poker Tournament. And tonight is especially important because it all benefits the Ed Asner Family Center, a foundation that my husband Matt Asner and I founded, inspired by our 3 boys with autism. And I thank you so much for being here and supporting our important cause.
And thank you,
I felt like
TechWorks.
we were in the 50s.
I know. Thank you, TechWorks, for that incredible video. So that's a little taste of what the poker tournament is. We're going to try and do that virtually. I think it's going to be cool, and I think you should join. If you want to join, you go to pokerwithed.com and sign up. Suggested donation of $250 gets you in.
It's almost full though.
It is almost full. So
definitely
do it
sign
now.
up.
Better hurry. But it's going to be
don't wanna
fun.
miss
It's going to
out.
be a lot of fun. Got a great auction. It's just going to be a blast. So come out, support the center virtually. It's going to be a blast. And on that note, I think we're out of time.
Are we?
A little bit out of time.
Okay,
Close
I
to out
just
of
want to
time.
remind everyone, though, that Krissa, our mental health director, is waiting for your calls. So if you need some extra support, don't forget to call Krissa at Ed Asner, or email Krissa at edasnerfamilycenter.org and let us help you get some support for anybody in your family who might need it.
And please take part in our programs online. As Navah said, we're going to be opening limited fashion in a couple of weeks for arts classes,
Arts and music.
Arts and music. But take advantage of our Monday music class, which is every Monday at 3:00 on YouTube Live and on Facebook, and our arts and crafts on Saturdays, and our character drawing on Wednesdays, and yoga
with
on
Shauna.
Sunday.
Yoga with Shauna.
Yeah, yoga
And
with
that's
Shauna.
it. That's it.
That's unbelievable. That's a lot.
Awesome.
So until next week,
Have a wonderful weekend. We are going to have a wonderful
We are.
weekend, right? God
Gonna
willing.
have a relaxing weekend, and keep your seatbelts on. We'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Navah Asner. I'm the founder of the Ed Asner Family Center. Did you know that we have counseling services here at the center? And our goal is to not send families away based on their ability to pay. This is my mental health director.
Hi, I'm Krissa Saad. I'm the licensed marriage family therapist, and we have availability for telehealth sessions. We also take insurance and private pay sliding scale. So please give me a call at 818-855-2199.
Take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Call us today.